Debunking Gaza Starvation Boy Myth, Genetic Disorders Explained. The haunting image of a starved Gaza child has sparked fierce debate, revealing a deeper truth often buried beneath the emotional shock of the moment. While the world watches in horror at the sight of a frail Palestinian boy, critics argue that the narrative is far more nuanced and potentially misleading than it appears. At the center of this controversy is Muhammad Zakariya Ayyoub al-Matouq, whose emaciated frame has become a symbol of starvation in Gaza. But what many overlook is the fact that his condition is not merely a result of war, but a complex mix of genetic disorders that have long plagued his family. This revelation came to light when a pro-Israel investigative group, Honest Reporting, pointed out a glaring oversight in the media coverage. Muhammad's older brother, Jude, standing nearby in remarkably better health. The contrast raises troubling questions about the accuracy of the images being used to represent the broader crisis. In a video interview, Muhammad's mother revealed that he suffers from a severe muscle disorder requiring specialized care, a detail that was either ignored or downplayed in most reports. Pro-Israel journalist David Collier added weight to this argument, citing a May 2025 medical report that identified Muhammad as having cerebral palsy, hypoxemia, and a congenital genetic condition. His condition, he explained, demands precise nutritional support and physical therapy, a reality that contradicts the simplistic starvation narrative often presented in global media. Yet, the photos taken by Turkey's Anadolu news agency, which show Muhammad's spine protruding from his back, have been widely circulated as evidence of widespread hunger. The BBC framed the image as a stark reminder of the maelstrom of human misery in Gaza, while the Daily Express called it a horrifying encapsulation of suffering. But the photographer, Ahmed Jihad Ibrahim al-Arini, suggested the picture might reflect a broader pattern of malnutrition. Meanwhile, the Israeli Foreign Ministry claims to have allowed 4,500 aid trucks into Gaza since lifting the blockade in May. Those 700 more are waiting for UN pickup. A recent UN report warned that 9% of children in Gaza now suffer from severe malnutrition, a sharp rise from 6% in June. Hamas-controlled health officials reported 20 child deaths linked to malnutrition in 3 weeks, while the UN accuses Israel of blocking aid deliveries and endangering civilians. Palestinians blame Israel for delays, but the country insists its aid efforts must be carefully monitored to prevent Hamas from intercepting shipments. On Sunday, the Israel Defense Forces announced a local tactical pause in military operations to speed up aid delivery, though they emphasize that food distribution within Gaza remains the responsibility of the UN and international agencies. But here's where it gets controversial. Are the media focusing on the right issues? Is the real crisis the lack of access to medical care, or is the focus on the wrong symptoms? And this is the part most people miss. The boy's condition may not be a sign of war-driven starvation, but a symptom of a deeper systemic health crisis. What do you think? Is the world seeing the full picture, or is the truth being filtered through political lenses? The truth behind the Gazan toddler's image: genetic diseases, not hunger. The image of a young child from Gaza, who has become a poignant representation of the hunger crisis in the region, has sparked significant attention and debate. This photograph features Muhammad al-Matouq, a frail toddler captured in a makeshift diaper crafted from a garbage bag. It has been widely disseminated across numerous media platforms, highlighting the dire situation in Gaza. However, an independent investigation has revealed that Muhammad's condition is not solely due to starvation. This pressure has led to a shift in policy, with the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, conducting their first humanitarian aid airdrop into Gaza, and announcing daily humanitarian pauses in hostilities, alongside efforts to establish secure corridors for aid in collaboration with the United Nations. Yet, some of the distressing images emerging from Gaza seem to be part of a broader strategy to reinforce the narrative of famine. One of the most impactful images is that of 18-month-old Muhammad al-Matouq, taken by journalist Ahmad al-Arini. The photograph, which shows the child in a diaper made from a black trash bag held by his mother, has been featured in major news outlets such as CNN, The New York Times, Sky News, The Guardian, Daily Mail, The Times, and even the pro-Israel Daily Express. Ahmad al-Arini explained to the BBC that he captured the photo to shed light on the extreme hunger faced by infants and children in Gaza. He discovered Muhammad and his mother living in a tent in Gaza City after being displaced from northern Gaza, with little more than a small stove for warmth. Al-Arini claimed that the toddler's weight had plummeted from 9 kg to 6 kg, which is significantly below the healthy range for his age, and that he had never been given breast milk, infant formula, or nutritional supplements. Al-Arini described the tent as resembling a grave, using this imagery to symbolize the broader plight of Gaza. However, investigative journalist David Collier published a comprehensive report that revealed Muhammad's struggles are not solely due to hunger, but are also linked to rare genetic conditions. Collier's findings were based on a medical report from the Basma Association for Aid in Gaza, signed by Dr. Saeed Mohammed al-Nassan, which indicated that Muhammad has required nutritional supplements since his birth in December 2023, just 2 months after the onset of the war. The report clarified that his medical issues stem from chronic illnesses affecting his muscle tone, movement, and posture. Collier also noted that al-Arini's photograph conveniently omitted Muhammad's older brother, Jude, who is 3 years old and appears healthy in other, less circulated images. Furthermore, he pointed out that Muhammad's mother, Huda, does not exhibit signs of severe malnutrition, which would typically indicate a family-wide food crisis. Collier criticized the BBC's airing a brief interview with Huda that failed to mention her child's underlying genetic conditions. He remarked, "Even in the clip, the mother hints at ongoing struggles and physical therapy treatments. The child's spinal curvature strongly suggests cerebral palsy, but the BBC narrator never addresses it, leading viewers to believe the child's condition is purely a result of famine." Additionally, media reports, including those from the New York Times, stated that Muhammad's father, Zakariya al-Matouq, was killed on October the 28th while searching for food. However, Collier's investigation revealed that he died in a targeted Israeli strike on Al-Kasasib Street in Jabalia, an area known for active combat at that time. During the period from October the 25th to the 29th, 6 IDF soldiers were killed in that vicinity, and Hamas videos from the area depict terrorist operations, casting doubt on the narrative that the father was merely looking for food. This context was largely overlooked by global media, which reinforced the narrative of a humanitarian crisis. Collier emphasized that Hamas often exploits the civilian population as tools for propaganda, with control over the distribution of humanitarian aid serving as a significant source of income for the organization. He accused UN agencies and NGOs operating in Gaza of colluding with Hamas, claiming that some organizations imposed impractical conditions on aid shipments, leading to their abandonment and spoilage, while others required Hamas to provide security for aid workers, effectively ensuring the group's control over the supplies. In another instance of global media involvement, the Italian newspaper Il Fatto Quotidiano featured a front-page image of a malnourished child under the headline, "Is This a Child?" a direct reference to Primo Levi's Holocaust memoir, If This Is a Man, later retitled Survival in Auschwitz. The article included an interview with Francesca Albanese, the UN's Special Rapporteur on the Palestinian territories, who accused the Italian government of complicity in Israel's alleged starvation policy. However, further investigation revealed that the child in the image, Osama al-Rakab, suffers from cystic fibrosis. The photograph was taken in April, and he has been in Italy since June 11th, thanks to humanitarian and diplomatic efforts by the Italian government, which also facilitated the evacuation of several other ill children from Gaza. The following day, Il Fatto Quotidiano published a follow-up article by student reporter Aya Ashur, who had recently relocated from Gaza to Italy. She claimed to have interviewed Osama's mother, alleging that the child was suffering terribly and receiving treatment at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, despite the fact that he had been in Italy for over a month and his health had since improved. This situation raises important questions about the portrayal of humanitarian crises in the media. Are we seeing the full picture, or are certain narratives being emphasized at the expense of others? What do you think about the way these stories are reported? Share your thoughts in the comments below.